So, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's a real pleasure to be here today, and I have to say I have learned so much already this morning, and I think it's excellent that we are representing different profiles, different roles in organizations, and we can learn from each other. I'm head of global privacy at Iron Mountain. I'm also a legal counsel. In my role, I focus on managing legal and business risks, but also on building customer trust through privacy compliance. And most recently, I have been looking into records retention, information management, and AI governance. So today, I will talk a little bit about data governance in the context of AI from the perspective of legal and compliance person. And I hope that that perspective will add to all the discussions that we are having today. So with that, let me start with AI-generated image and an obvious statement, which is that in today's world, moving fast is precondition for prosperous business. However, if we move fast without governance, we may be taking unnecessary business risks. And here I'm thinking about legal, compliance, reputational, enforcement risks. And in the age of AI, I think that data governance is emerging as a new business risk and changes the conversation. Because without good quality data, without integrity of data, AI is not likely to be successful. And we have talked quite a lot about it already today. So if we imagine driving a fast car without seat belts, we may not be able to go as fast as we can, or we may regret not having seat belts if something goes wrong. And to me, this is very much the role of governance, to anticipate and to create conditions for the business to go at maximum speed, but in a safe mode. Now, if data is becoming a key to unlock potential of AI, then I believe that as part of a broader corporate governance, we really need to give more attention to data governance and make sure that we have strong foundations going forward. And as much as technology, automation is going to help us, I think we should not forget about the strategy itself and making sure that this is a topic that is being discussed with executives and leadership. Now, moving on, I picked up that quote from a research which goes that the use of AI is predicted to grow by more than 25% each year for the next 5 years and could contribute over $50 trillion to the global economy by 2030. This is only 5 years from now, and it looks like a massive opportunity for everyone. But with opportunities comes also responsibility and may come liability. And that is irrespectively where we sit in the broader business ecosystem, customer, vendor, whatever. So how to get it right and how to prepare ourselves to innovate fast, to adopt AI fast, while mitigating the business risks. Now, I think that we are still very early on a journey that has potential of using AI, and there is no one way to put governance around AI. But looking at the companies and what they have been already doing for some time, I think there are some key building blocks that organizations rely on. So first of all, they start by setting up AI governance framework, which includes implementation of organizational structures, processes, policies, roles and responsibilities to guide responsible deployment and development and deployment of AI. And now companies take different approaches. Some focus on centralized approach where they create AI office or whatever the name would be. They recruit people with skill, they invest in technology. Some other organizations take decentralized approach, they put AI responsibilities on existing functions. Now, which approach would be more effective, I think time will show, but it also underlines the fact that every organization is unique, and that approach to AI governance needs to correspond to that organization, to the risk appetite they have, their structure and culture. Now, when it comes to governance frameworks, AI governance framework, I think we can already draw a lot from learnings and skills we have in our existing organizations. I'm sure most of organizations have robust and long-term standing information security frameworks, privacy frameworks. They have similar building blocks which can be easily leveraged as we build AI governance frameworks. Second, companies tend to prioritize data quality and data integrity over data volume, and this is also something that we have talked about it, and that simply emphasizes the role of data governance, the role of good quality, unbiased, representative data, which will then determine the success of AI. And I will talk about that a little bit more in a moment. Third, companies identify and implement ethical and compliance considerations throughout the whole life cycle of AI, from design of a solution to sourcing data, training models, deploying models, to then monitoring how AI system performs. And again, this reminds me very much the principle that we use in information security and privacy, which is security and privacy by default and by design. Again, the same concept can be easily leveraged here. Fourth, companies take steps to implement transparency and explainability mechanism. Again, something we talked about this morning, to be able to explain to users, either consumers, individuals, or businesses, how AI is taking decisions and what data is being used for training. This also comes as a requirement from a recently enacted EU AI Act, and we see it also in other regions. Transparency will be mandatory for certain AI systems. And I think within time we will see more transparency disclaimers coming with products and services which includes AI features. And then finally, companies take actions to foster a culture of awareness and accountability by promoting AI education, by providing training. And again, something that we know from other areas, policies are as good as people understand them, follow them, and feel accountable for them. Now, how companies overall are doing with AI governance frameworks? I was reading one of the studies, which is not that fresh, let's say, good few months old, which shows that only 20% of mature organizations have a good level of AI governance already implemented, which shows that this is early on. There is still time for everyone to get on the journey or train and put some governance structures around AI. The other insight from this research was that number one risk for this organization is biased and unreliable data, because it can create harm to individuals or it can create business risks to enterprises. So going back to number two, which is really at the heart of effective AI governance, so data governance, I think I don't need to repeat what we have said already, which is that the quality of data will be really detrimental to the success of AI, and we can think about data governance as a foundation of a building. If these foundations are weak, then most likely, the whole structure is at compromise or at risk. Now, when data governance is done right, meaning that we have processes, policies, technology, resources, then data can really become value for our organizations. It can help drive better decision-making process, foster innovation, and also give us a significant business advantage on the market. But if data governance is not done right, potentially it can become our liability. Now, there are some data governance people in the room, and I'm sure many of you know that data governance is not an easy task. We have so much data being generated non-stop. We have structured and unstructured data. So many IT systems that we have in our organizations, application systems in multiple locations across many different countries. It's really dynamic environment, and it's very, very broad. And from what I'm seeing, I think that it may be area which has been underinvested or maybe neglected in the recent years by some organizations. But with emergence of AI and the role that data is going to play in successful or responsible AI, I think data governance is now receiving a different perspective, different light, and it requires organizations to act on it. And technology will be definitely something that will help us. I really like the reference to AI nutrition labels or other technology that can help us tag the data, label the data, so we know where it comes from, what it can be used for, what it has been already used for. Do we have permissions? What are the legal data residency requirements? And that makes me think about, as I speak about that, about really amazing experience that Iron Mountain has had over many years with our customers. We have been with them on the journey of records, retention, records management, records disposition for really, really long time. It all started with paper, with tapes, but this is still something that is in place, and it's not a decreasing business at all. But following technology changes, now emergence of AI, we are seeing how much we have to provide of new solutions to our customers, and I think the partnership with Amy is a demonstration of that. So I think very exciting times for us working in data governance, but also in other functions. Yes, so in conclusion, just want to say that if we really want to move fast with AI adoption, with innovation, we need to make sure that we think about it also from a perspective of governance, in particular data governance, data quality, data integrity. And saying that, I don't have in mind all data universe in our organization. This is something we have not touched on yet, that it's not about all the data we have. It's really about data sets and data systems that are relevant for our AI objectives. So basically knowing what our crown jewels are, I think it's again relevant question to ask. So I would encourage everyone to ask yourself a question: how data governance looks in your organization. Is it fit for purpose? Is it fit for digital age or AI age? Because the last thing we want is for data to be obstacle to adoption of AI and ultimately a business risk. So with that, thank you. And if any questions, if not, then I'll hand over to David.